Just a little disclaimer before this episode. We'd just like to say that we're recording this the day after we've heard about the Roe v. Wade being overturned. And we just would like to say that when we say that we don't care about American politics, we are strictly talking about the politics that are mentioned in this book and this book alone in a fictional sense. We are both very upset and our hearts break for American women today. Hello everybody and welcome to Letterbox Book Club. I'm Mackenzie.
And I'm Claire.
And today we will be discussing Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston, which was their first book, and it is being turned into a film.
Yes, I heard about that. We've seen the TikToks, or the TikTok, the important one with the actors who are going to play Alex and Henry. I have no idea who their names are, unfortunately, but
I know the guy playing Alex was in The Kissing Booth too.
Okay.
Yes, he was very good in it.
I don't think I've seen The Kissing Booth 2. I've seen the first one, probably against my will, but
there's 3 of them.
I know there's too many.
Yeah. Anyway, what happens when America's first son falls in love with the Prince of Wales? Alex Claremont Diaz is handsome, charismatic, a genius, pure millennial marketing gold for the White House. Ever since his mother first became President of the United States. There's only one problem. When the tabloids get hold of a photo involving an altercation between Alex and Prince Henry, US/British relations take a turn for the worse. Heads of family and state devise a plan for damage control, stage a truce. But what begins as a fake, Instagrammable friendship grows deeper and more dangerous than either Alex or Henry could have imagined. Soon they are hurtling into a secret romance that could derail the presidential campaign and upend 2 nations.
Is that it? I have a bit more. Well, you have a different book than me, again. Yours is different.
Show your book.
Show your... Oh, wait, sorry, I gotta take... Yeah, yours is a bit different to mine. Oh, shit, you can't see it because of... I'll send a photo. But yeah, I have a little bit more blurb. It raises the question, can love save the world after all? Where do we find the courage and the power to be the people we were meant to be? And how can we learn to let our true colours shine through?
What? Did you get yours from Target?
Yeah, you were with me.
I got mine from Target.
I don't even know, dude. I'm sending you the back.
Why does this always happen to us?
That's alright. It's no big deal. One of us has the newly edited version.
Yeah, mine's so different.
I don't know how that happened.
I'll send you a pic. The front's the same, but I think the back's different. Hang on, yeah. Yeah, they're even in different spots.
How do we get... This always happens. It started off with your bougie hardcover of... Yeah, hello.
They both die at the end.
Yours is much smaller. Blurb at the back. Yeah, look, dude, I don't know. This is why they should only be published... There should be specific details on how a book should be published, and it should be the same everywhere to avoid this issue. Alrighty, Kenzie, we digress. Moving on.
I'm so upset by this.
It's ruined your day.
It's fine.
Well, other than this now heartbreak, thoughts, feelings, emotions, Kenzie?
I want to stay objective, but I haven't read a few things where this book can come across as a bit fanficky in that meet cute sort of thing, and every interaction is very meaningful and they fall in love very fast. And it's all rainbows and sunshines and happiness. So yeah. My feelings are that it's a great book. It's an easy read. I loved it. It's great representation. I loved all the themes and could have done without some of the politics because I just don't care about actually, right now in this moment, I care about politics. But in terms of these politics, I don't care about these fictional politics. I digress. But yeah, that's all. I liked it. It was a good, fun read. I'm happy for them.
Yeah, I agree with you almost a little bit too because, I thought it was a little bit too fanficky as well.
Yeah.
But that's alright. I loved it. Easy read as well. I could have done with a little bit less politics. Given from the blurb and everything, I was expecting more of the actual social media faking the friendship more than the presidential campaign kind of taking over. And of course, we're going to talk about probably that later. But yeah, I just seemed a little bit misled in that regard. And yeah, I agree. They fell in love a little bit too quickly. But we'll talk about that later on. But I still loved it. Yeah, it was a great read. I was laughing, smiling, crying. Well, not crying, but yeah, it was great. Do you have any points to talk about first, Kenzie?
Yes, hang on.
I have a bit of a qualm early on, though, actually.
Yes, go on.
So, just throughout the beginning of the book, it is emphasized also in the blurb and in the first, I guess, few chapters. Even though this is written in, like, third point of view, it is very much Alex's point of view as well, and all his feelings and how he sees the world.
Yes.
But early on, it was heavily emphasized, like, oh, Henry and Alex are arch nemesis or nemesis.
I know, and then like the fact that they were like arch nemesis, and then it's like, I mean, they just disliked each other.
Yeah, and it's like, especially on Alex, Henry is pretentious. Henry's this blah blah blah, and I'm sitting here like, dude, it just sounds like you're obsessed with him because we don't know what Henry has done, or we don't even know him, and why am I meant to believe everything you say as well? Yeah. So Alex, early on, I disliked him just because he came across as that, like, you know, arrogant, like, oh, I hate this guy, blah blah blah. It's just like, oh, we haven't even met this guy.
That there would be like more like something that had happened between them. For them to be like, we hate each other, like we're arch nemesis, and it's just like, nah, he's just like in love with him and doesn't want to admit it.
It was like at the Olympics, Alex said that Henry pretty much dogged him. Like he introduced himself and Alex was like, go away, or like lead them away or something. And I'm like, yeah, look, that's a bit fair to hold a grudge, but it's not something to be arch nemesis over, I don't think.
Yeah, exactly.
And the whole who pushed who into the cake almost, like whose fault it was, like it just seemed a bit of a reach, in my opinion.
I know, and then that was one thing that I had a qualm with, I guess. Like, surely, I don't know, like one of them could have thrown a drink on each other, or like they could have got into some fisticuffs. Like, not that I'm condoning violence, but like, why did it have to be that they fell into the $75,000 wedding cake? Because in what universe does that happen?
Yeah, I know. I know, right? Yeah. Alex just seemed too arrogant and pretentious, and Henry even said to him, I think, when they were in England almost, like, oh, you're obsessed with me. Or even at the wedding, he's like, dude, you're approaching me, you're saying the shit about me, you're obsessed with me. And I'm like, yeah, it's a bit of a reach. It was irritating me, honestly, but it had to get the ball rolling, I guess, so I saw past it. And I just think, and I thought the whole book was going to be about the 3-day trip, because I thought it was going to be one of those, like, sure, it was 3 days, but, you know, for them, it took the time to kind of fall in love with each other.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought was going to happen. It's going to be more of an organic falling in love, not of a pining.
And not that they've been in love with each other for years and years.
Yeah, it's a pining under the guise of, dislike, and it's like, I feel like the dislikeness didn't have any weight to begin with, but...
Yeah. I think also just to preface as well with this, like, I feel like, again, for a small book, there's a lot of plot, like, there's a lot of going back and forth, going to different events, going to, like, these political things, so I'm going to try and talk about, like, plot points and stuff, but I'm just going to talk about sort of separately, like, what happens and then how I feel about it.
Okay.
Instead of going by, like, this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. I did want to touch on first, because it's clear in my mind, about June and Nora.
Oh, I ship them so hard.
I shipped them, but I was like, is this baiting? Like...
Yeah, I don't think it's... I don't know. I didn't really think of it as baiting. I was kind of rooting for them to get together.
Yeah, no, and like, I would have, wanted to explore that more. And then just because, like, the way, like, she obviously didn't outright reject Pez.
No.
But, like, she obviously wasn't entertaining it. And I was like, well, I think she's, canonically bi.
It was implied when they all went to the club together, and like her, Pez, and Nora stayed in the one room, and like Nora had lipstick at the back of her neck, and that was implied.
Yeah, and I'm just like, threesome?
yeah. That's what I'm thinking, threesome.
Yeah, there was that one, which is like great for them. Love that for you. Wish I could live my life like that. There was that thing where I think after like the scandal came out, when they Alex woke up and June and Nora were like asleep, and like June's fingers were like in Nora's hair or something.
Yeah,
and I was like,
it's so
just
cute.
say that they like each other, like
one scandal after another.
Yeah, I guess, but it's more like show don't tell kind of stuff. Like
maybe it's the next book, the Nora June story. Nah, I don't know. Yeah, look, I thought that was really cute though.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show how close they all really are with each other as well. Because, like, Nora even jokingly calls Ellen, like, stepmom or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have liked them two to have some sort of, perhaps, relationship, or even a talk. Even if one rejects the other, like, that would have been so cool.
Yeah, but at least, bring that to the light.
I shipped it, but it wasn't enough to... I wouldn't have thought it was baiting, no. Personally. However, if they were the ones having like a fake relationship, then probably.
Yeah, they're really having a secret relationship. They're kept from everyone.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the email leak.
Yes. Or the outing.
First of all, when they were in the car, I was just like, windscreen.
Yeah. When they were swapping cars and they have a little bit of a make out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure it would be very tinted though.
Yeah. But not enough.
Not enough. The outing. Look, as soon as they switched correspondence from text to emails, I'm like, this is going to bite them in the ass.
And also, okay, yeah, I wanted to talk about that separately, but... no, I didn't. Anyway, when, they mentioned, again, like, I love Chekhov's guns.
Yeah.
As soon as he mentioned, like, oh, yeah, like, it's a private, like, email server. And I was like, why wouldn't you... Because this is a modern book, like, it's set in the modern times, it's set now-ish. Like, I assume that you would know about VPN scramblers. So, like, one, why wouldn't you do that? Create a fake email account under a fake name and then both use that.
Yeah.
Instead of using the presidential, like, private government server email.
Yeah. And Henry was using his own, like, royal email too. Oh, these guys are idiots.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. And, like, surely Henry's emails themselves would have extra surveillance on them anyway.
Yeah.
I would have thought.
Because I thought that, like, it would just be, or, like, some surveillance footage could come out of them or something at, like, one of the hotels or the clubs, like, kissing, instead of, like, oh, no, let's release their entire emails. Like, it was a lot.
I think in the book, they, like, Luna revealed the whole, like, they was surveying both of them, but, like, they couldn't really get much because they were actually quite good at hiding it, I guess. But yeah, they just had to do the email thing. Yeah, look, I don't know. Just the whole outing as well seems to be like a pretty significant theme, significant moment in this book as well. In this day and age, people are hounding celebrities for what their sexualities are or like projecting or like just giving them the title of a sexuality that they don't necessarily know of. Kind of like Shawn Mendes, he gets bullied a lot online because everyone's like, oh, he's gay, and it's like, just leave the guy alone.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also there was a case like in Australia like a couple of weeks ago with Rebel Wilson. Like, she was outed by, I forget which Australian newspaper, but she was like blackmailed to out herself, or they were going to do it for her. And it's like,
I think it was like, do you know Nikki Tutorials?
Yes, I know of
Yeah,
them.
she was threatened that she was going to be outed as trans, so she had to come out as trans herself.
Yeah, and like they blackmail them as if they're doing them a favor. It's like, this is going to help you, or else I'm just going to reveal it all for you, which is So that whole process in this book in particular was the most shittiest thing the opposing candidate could ever do. But unfortunately, being like a public figure like that, like when you're competing, I guess, public figures try and tear each other down, I guess, all the time, probably. So it's a shame that they have to use that sort of personal knowledge against them. Not that it's any of their business, but then it backfired anyway, so
stuck a dick.
Oh, I was also going to say in my thoughts, feelings, emotions, that this book really did toe the line between like fiction and reality, because there were so many real, like, I suppose it is a fictional book set in a real modern world. Because like even Henry's last name was like Windsor, and like, who's our current queen's last name? It's Windsor. And it's like
and
Beatrice
they use like
Philip
and Beatrice,
and I'm like, ugh, oh no. And like, there was just so many references to like current day stuff. It really blurred the line. So
I did enjoy how Casey's just like, you know what, Trump doesn't exist. Like,
yep. I
like Alex's mum won.
Yeah. And no pandemic either. No panini.
Yeah, no pandemic.
Yeah, it's great. But yeah, it really did toe the line, which was great. Or I don't know if I felt weird about it or if it was just great, but I don't know. I suppose it's kind of the same with One Last Time, like, or One Last Stop, sorry, because like it was fictional because it was more science and like whatever future stuff, but it did have like musical references and all that stuff from our actual real life time period.
Yeah.
So
I like books like modern romances that reference current events.
only the good things. But yeah, the emails, it was always going to happen. I wasn't expecting it to be like Raphael Luna or whoever he was to kind of do it.
But I think he was severely blackmailed into it.
Yeah, he was severely blackmailed. But yeah, the poor guys. And it just goes to show there's a standard that the public figures have to uphold in order to protect themselves and their sanctity and all that type of stuff.
Did you think when the leak happened, I audibly out loud was like, oh no, because the leak happened and then they had mentioned that Nora hadn't left her apartment?
Yeah.
And I was like, I thought that it was Nora who leaked. I was like, oh my god, like, she didn't want to, like, be the scapegoat, like, all this stuff, like...
I didn't think it was her. I thought she was going to have, like, a little, maybe, I don't know why I thought she would have had a little depressive state, but, she seems like a very pragmatic person, so I thought she was onto something and needed to not be disturbed, obviously. But yeah, I didn't think she did it. If anything, I thought June probably would have, because...
Oh.
Oops, I love June though. Because early on in the book, their mum... Because June is trying so hard to protect Alex from becoming like... I don't know how to describe, but just like a hardworking, like work-focused, orientated politician like his mother. And like, obviously their relationship with their mother is pretty good, but it can also be pretty shit because she has to prioritize, you know, the country above her children almost. And June's just trying to protect him from becoming type of that, like that. And so, I don't know.
And I think, yeah, that comes through really strongly towards the end when she's like, you don't have to do this, like, you don't have to go down the same, like, the politician's path or whatever. Yeah.
And so, but yeah, early on, their mum offered them jobs as part of the presidential campaign. And June's like, no, because this is going to fuck with my future roles as a journalist, because who would want, like, a first daughter or something, you know, to write for them?
I think, though, like, fair, I agreed with her, but also, like, you are, like, the first daughter already. Like, even if you do or do not take this role on the campaign, you still have that title and that name, like...
I feel like this book just makes it seem like these young kids are doing more in the political scape than what they actually are in the real world. Like, I really don't think say for example, the Obama children are out making speeches left, right, and center, unless it's a cause perhaps that they're actually passionate about. Like, you don't see, you know, bar Trump's kids because they're actually full-fledged adults, like 30-year-olds and all that type of stuff. But like, yeah, you don't see like the younger children like stepping in, making speeches for delegates and all that type of stuff. So I feel like...
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, my point is, long circle.
We digress.
Long circle. Yeah, I just thought maybe it could have been just like a harsh lesson to learn type of thing, but lucky that wasn't what came about, because June seems like, yeah, a very open person herself. But yeah, I initially thought it was June. I even initially thought it was his dad, Oscar, that would have done it, because he came out to him on the family vacation just before the shit show fell into place.
Yeah, true.
So I was like, oh, and he's wanting to do, he would probably try and weasel his way back into Ellen's campaign, because that's what he wanted to do.
I couldn't, like, catch the vibes of the dad. Yeah, I was like, is he, like, meant to be bad? Is he not meant to be bad? Like, and I think he was just kind of made that way because it's like, oh, well, we have to have, like... Conflict, yeah. Like, there were a few things where I was like, we can do without this, like...
Yeah, like, the useless fighting at Christmas was where Ellen and him were fighting about, I don't need you to win a campaign, and he's like, yes, you do. And it's like, well, she won without you the first time. You hold no merit to this now. Like, yeah. And then, obviously, that disrupts June and Alex's vibe with the family for a moment. I just want to say, as I said earlier about how Henry and Alex are quote-unquote arch-nemesis, when really they're not, in my opinion.
Yeah, they're not.
The whole guise of, like, showing the world that they're fake best friends, it was really overshadowed. Not a lot of it happened. I think we only saw, like, one Instagram post when they were out in the cafe, and it's like, oh, bromance. Like, that's the one article that came of it, and it's like, I thought the whole point of this book was for them to, like, have thousands of articles about them hanging out, which never really happened. And I also felt like, because Alex was in the guise of being the fake best friend, whatever, and then he gives Henry his number, I felt like that moment or storyline aspect was very weak, because it's like, you don't seem like good friends oh, you would make good friends anyway, so like, why would you give him your number to then spiel your whole entire life story?
I know, exactly. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it just, again, very fanficky, like, it has to happen. I don't know. I don't even know if that made sense. I just, like, I look at an area and I just, like, talk nonsense. I don't know.
No, that's okay. It does make sense. I understood.
Yeah, it just felt very not organic and a very weak reason as to give him your phone number.
And, like, why couldn't, again, it feels very construed to give him that number and that. And, like, why couldn't it have just been in those, like, documents that they gave each other? Like,
yeah.
Like, here's the numbers. And then also, why do they only have one phone?
Yeah,
One's a print, one's, like, is the president's son. Like, surely you would have, like, your, like, work phone, and then your, like, personal phone.
Yeah, I know.
And then, because I feel like they could, like, be talking, like, it could have been, like, they were talking on their, like, work phones or whatever. And then they could have been like, oh, like, if you want to, like, reach me anytime, like, this is my actual number. Like, once they formed that friendship.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, it just seems like very weak sort of reasoning, which annoyed me. But, like, don't get me wrong, I loved the relationship once it blossomed. Like, it was great. Yeah. But it was just the getting to that point was a bit of a uphill battle for me personally.
Yes. I'm going to keep going on and on about, like, yeah, but the uphill battle was just, like, this fake enemies thing. It's like, no, you're not. Like,
yeah, we didn't
nothing
see
has happened.
him. We didn't see him be an enemy to begin with. We only heard the anecdote of what happened at the Olympics, and it's like, all right, he ignored you. Big whoop, almost. He's a prince. He probably has more important people to talk to. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It just goes to show perhaps Americans are so arrogant and think they're the most important people in the world.
In my mind, I kept imagining, though, Henry with dark hair and Alex with light hair, so I kept getting really confused, and then I kept I just kept getting them confused, and I would have to, like, reread certain parts and be like, wait, what?
I would just get out, like, just Alex and Henry names confused. Like, I thought, like, yeah, the first son was Henry.
Yeah, same. Yeah. I kept doing that. I was like, oh my god, what's happening?
And that's the thing with this book as well. It seems like the first children of the presidential family, like, it seems like they are the most other important beings other than the politicians themselves, which, if anything, they should have been just figureheads. Because it's like, oh, Alex, you got to go to this meeting. Oh, June, you got to write the speech. It's like, I've never seen these people so involved, or it's, I think, because maybe it just adds that extra layer of fiction, like, you know. Yeah.
But maybe because in our lifetime, the only, like, kids that we saw were, like, Obama's kids who were children at the time, so weren't really involved. And I know that, perhaps. I don't know their names, the oldest one has, like, done a few things now. But yeah, so in this, they're, like, adults, and, like, maybe, I feel like adult children, Trump's children, I know were sent on things because they're adults.
Yeah.
But again, like, I don't know a lot about American politics.
Yeah,
the nitty-gritty, but, like, why does you being the child of the president automatically kind of give you, like a leg up in politics, you know?
Yeah.
Surely you'd have to have, like, a degree or a background or something.
I mean, yeah, they're working on it in college. Like, Alex was just about to finish, like, he was going to go to college. No, he's about to start? I don't know.
He's about to finish,
yeah, a course in government. And, like, yeah, it sucked. Like, that does give him a leg up. Because it's his networking and his ability to make connections. Alrighty, what do you want to talk about next?
Let's talk about Henry's ghosting of Alex.
Yes, of course. Someone always has to have, like, a really unreasonable reason to ghost or be scared. Oh, he had every reason to be scared.
Oh, like, I understood it, but, like, again, like, and it's so true in real life as well, and it's just one of those things that's like, so much stuff would just be avoided if you would just communicate.
Yeah, look, miscommunication trope, I hate it.
Like, so you've been having sex, you've been, like, cuddling, hanging out, having sleepovers, you've now been invited on, like, this vacation. Like, at what point do you not think there's feelings?
Yeah.
Instead of, like, we're just having fun.
He wanted his cake and eat it too, but being, like, that public royal figure, it would have been a big conversation in the press and all that type of stuff. But yeah, look, it's almost like the leading on, I'd say, yeah, it would be almost leading him on. But maybe
and then, like, I think, you have that instead of, like, when they're yelling at each other about it, whatever, you sit down and you have that conversation, like, hey, like, we're having fun or whatever, like, I know that, like, feelings are going to get involved. Obviously, I'm in a very different position to you. Like, we're obviously in very, like, tight, like,
different aspects of life, I guess.
Different aspects of like, but like different situations where like
Yeah.
coming out as like the president's son versus the Prince of Wales.
Because at the end of the day, the president can be replaced, and he could then become a nobody.
Exactly. And so you sit down and say, and you could be like, look, I do have those feelings for you, but at the moment I can't come out. Like, I need you to be happy with continuing as we are. Like,
Yeah.
or we step away.
Must have been, yeah, it was a very tricky and difficult situation, because, like, yeah, it's not like they can just scoop up and run away and just live happily ever after. Like, there are consequences and procedures and protocols and, yeah, look, perhaps Henry, should have just been honest from the get-go. Oh, not from the get-go, but once you're invited to family vacation, I feel like it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big deal. It's a bit more different than just fucking in a closet at Wimbledon.
Yeah.
And the stables. Again, yeah, would have easily been rectified with a honest conversation.
Also, as soon as someone starts calling me sweetheart or love, like,
yeah,
I'm in.
Look, you're gone.
Yeah, I'm gone. Like,
may as well be married.
Yeah, weird way to propose, but yes.
But yeah, maybe it's like an adventurous side that Alex brings out in him, and he's just like, he's getting too caught up. Perhaps it's in a little like a lovey-dovey bubble, and like, you know, it had to burst.
I do understand. Who was I think I was having this conversation with you, actually. Yeah, like, I do understand when you're in a very vulnerable position with someone in like a sensual sexual time, like, you can like just be in those feelings and be like, I want to say I love you, like, straight away.
Sure.
So like, I get it, but
yeah, it's a hormone thing as well, as we've said before. We've talked about privately and stuff. Perhaps it was the first time like Alex has ever felt free. And Henry. See, I'm getting mixed up now. I know it's Henry, but like saying it's Alex.
Well, I think both of them is like, obviously they are in very different situations.
Yeah.
But like, even Alex, because I feel like, yeah, some of his relationships as well would have been like press relationships. And then like, yeah, when he talks about how he used to mess around with Liam, and he's like, oh, like, that didn't mean anything, and then he looks back and he's like, oh, actually, like, it did. And he's like, he's like thinking about like if he had just accepted it or like knew about it.
Having his little sexuality crisis.
Yeah, I love that. Sorry, I just came up with a point though. Why? See, I need to be careful about what I say. So,
Ooh, I'm scared.
I think Casey McQuiston only has 2 books so far, this one and One Last Stop, and one of the main characters has been bi and not completely like gay or queer, which is fine, but like, why can't you just let Alex be gay as well? Why does he have to be bi?
I mean, it's a good question, I guess.
Yeah, and same with August, with June. Like, she's like, oh, I'm bi, actually.
It's a good question. I don't have an answer for you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. I'm a bi woman, and that's
you just
fine. But it's just
you like that consistency.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just like a dartboard. It's like a list of sexualities, and you just throw a dart. It's like, all right,
I think maybe like because Alex hadn't like explored his sexuality. So.
Maybe not. Yeah, but at least Alex has a moment in this book where he. Not that you really need to have like a sexuality crisis in order to feel validated, but like, yeah, he does go through the motions of, all right, I messed around with Liam. Oh, it was a bit more than what was expected. You know, give him a call, blah, blah, blah. What we did, was very gay, blah, blah, blah.
I love the phone call where Liam's just like, dude, obviously, like, you're bi or whatever. Like, why are we having this conversation now?
It was a little irritating as well, because Alex was like, I need someone to tell me what I am. It's like, no, dude, that's not how this works.
Yeah, like, he's like, I need you to tell me that I'm gay. I was like, you need to come to those conclusions on your own.
Yeah. But yeah, or maybe it could be out of spite that they're bi, because in a lot of even current media, like, there'll be bisexual characters in TV shows, and like, but they would end up in a straight or passing relationship type of thing. So maybe this is just a spite. Well, bi people can still be with the same sex, but like, they're still bi type of thing.
Yeah.
There's your presumptuous answer. Like, I don't know. Nah, and like Liam as well, just at the end where he pops up, it's like, I don't care that you've popped up to support him. Like, fuck off.
Oh, I know, at the end.
As if he was just some important revelation at the end. It's like, no, dude, you had one conversation.
You had one conversation and you touched his dick maybe a handful of times. Like,
yeah. But nah, it's good, because I'm sure this book would have given people comfort in that type of way with a crisis, because I'm sure a lot of people would have gone through the motions.
I think it was good in that, it depicts, I know it's fictional, but it depicts two very prominent, like, icons of, like, country representation.
It's a big statement.
Yeah, being gay, being bi, and, like, it's essentially okay in the end.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say before you asked that question. Back to the miscommunication trope real quick. Sorry if it's all, like, mumble-jumble. This is just how we talk. Like, we tried to be as structured as we can. Now it's just flown out the window. Who cares?
Because we always, like, some things will remind us of other things, and then we're going back and forth.
Yeah. I suppose back to Henry ghosting him real quick. It's always going to get to that climactic point where it's like, all right, Henry's just going to ghost him because as a royal, he's a royal for life. He's always going to be royal no matter what, and it was always going to be like a tragic backfire. Yeah,
I really thought, and they did bring it up, that he would abdicate.
Yeah. And see, that's another thing. Like, it toes the line between reality, like fiction and non-fiction, because I'm pretty sure, like, Queen Elizabeth's uncle, he was king, and he abdicated because he was literally in correspondence with Nazis, and that was brought up in this book. So it's like, tossing up the real and not real.
And that was how one of the presidents became presidents or whatever, or something, because he wanted to marry someone else. Something or other, and so then they gave it up.
And obviously this book gives, like, a non-traditional stance on, well, not traditional, but it's flipped this reality, because you got immigrated folks as president and, like, first family, which is fine, and, like, divorced and, you know, still in relatively good communications with an ex who is also, like, running for, like, Senate or governor or whatever the hell he's doing. I don't even know.
Yeah.
And, like, it's a very millennial flip on what's happening. And I also think I think there's still issues within the book, but this feels very much like a dream reality, if you will. Yeah. Don't bring shifting into this. It's a very millennial left-wing flip on today's world, for sure.
Yes. In an ideal world, this is what the world would be.
Not that there's anything wrong with it, but, like, it does seem like a too good to be true type of thing, but oh well.
Yes. Because, like, it comes out that they're gay and they've been caught and they're kissing or whatever, and then, sure, like, there's a little bit of, like, damage control, and then the Queen's just like, this is not okay, and then they're just like, yes, it is, and she's like, okay.
Not much of a fight there.
Yeah, and then, there's, like, all the rallies and stuff.
Yeah, that was so cool, though.
And, like, the mural.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
And then in the end, it's just like, like, I'm your first son or whatever, and I'm, like, bi or I'm gay or whatever, and everyone's like, okay, chill.
And I just want to say really quick, I just love that, like, it's all supportive and stuff, because obviously it's going to be a supportive book, but it could also inspire the young folks reading the book as well, like, if they ever want to get in politics and all that, like, it's okay, and, like, you have your rights and the people are behind you. But I was going to say before, just Henry's whole relationship with his family, I think it mirrors the Harry-Meghan situation almost as well, like, currently. Because Philip, I feel like, is Will-esque, and it's like he's very well-trained in the royal line of duty and, like, very proper and, you know, takes his role very seriously. And then, even though Henry, you know, does as well, but, like, you know, he's flying recklessly back and forth to these, like, clubs and events and hangouts and stuff. And I think when Harry was younger, he was a bit reckless.
In this gap year thing.
Yeah, he's finding himself. Yeah, it just gave me, like, Harry Meghan vibes. Just the whole, like, I'm doing something different and they don't like it. But obviously, the Harry Meghan shit is still kind of ongoing. I don't think it'll ever end, but obviously it was a lovely conclusion. Even if it was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Catherine had to blackmail the Queen in order for it to be okay. And he had to get his family portrait. Oh, so funny. Philip would have been seething. And just Philip awkwardly being like, well, if you need me to help, let me know. It's like, you don't do a 360 like that. Come on.
Yeah.
Glad it was a lovely sort of resolution. Ultimately, he was always gonna Henry was always going to kind of prioritize the royal life, and he'll willing to do whatever he needed to do in order to keep himself
And
private.
I think that's honourable. Like, I think, but again, like, there's lots of stuff like discourse and stories, but like honour above love or whatever.
Yeah. If it holds you back on being who you are or who you want to be, like, you shouldn't have to sacrifice it. Ultimately, love wins. Iwoo. Why don't we talk about Henry and Alex's relationship real quick, I guess. Not that I have any, like, outstanding points, but, like, they do like to live dangerous and recklessly by fucking in the most public places.
Yeah, again, like, we spoke about this privately, but I liked the details that we did get, because I feel like in this type of book as well, there could be, like, a lot of fade to blacks and just not show what was happening. And again, like, I could have gone, like, a little bit more details, because I feel like there's lots of logistics. But yeah, but that's fine. But yeah, as I was saying, it's more like a fade to grey.
Yeah, a fade to royal blue, as I said.
Yeah, like, we got, like, some stuff, and we got some descriptions, and we got some things, and then it was just like... afterwards, or, like, yeah, like, there's one quote or something, like, saying, like, when we'd both, like, breathed, like, God's name 100 times or whatever, like, it felt like the room was consecrated.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it could have been an artistic kind of decision for Casey, because, you know, perhaps she feels like she doesn't... Not that she doesn't have a right to write, like, a gay sex scene in detail, but maybe, or maybe it's just the tone of the book. Like, the tone of the book, it swears, but it's not too smutty. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's just the decision, the direction she didn't want to take, which is fine. I quite liked, just the afterward is like, But also, speaking of, like, that type of pacing, like, it was nice and concise when it kind of got to the point of every event. Like, all right, now they're at the club, now they're, I don't know, in the back seat, now Alex is on the plane, blah, blah, blah. Like, I liked that concise timeline.
Oh, I loved Alex, like, frantically, like, getting on the plane, like, running to Henry or whatever, and, like, when June or whoever texts him is like, I heard you're on your way to London, like, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, just, like, it gives off that little, like, romantic montage.
Yes.
Alex got away a lot with, you know, against the royal family, almost, because, like, they should have had his head with the amount of shit he said and his actions. Surprised he didn't, wind up with a head on a pike.
Yes.
But again, I guess it's all in the name of fiction and good storytelling. At the New Year's party, that's when Henry kisses Alex for the first time, and then Alex runs away, and then Alex has his sexual crisis.
Yes.
Awakening crisis. Yeah, I found like, because I don't think, even reading it, I don't think there was that huge inclination where I thought, oh, Henry likes him at all. So I was a little bit like, the kiss kind of came out of nowhere.
Oh, mate, like, he's like, obviously, like, he's gay or whatever, but, like, he's drunk, like, he's in his emotions, like, he's like, shut up and bleh.
Yeah, you're being irritating, bleh. Like, I kind of like that trope when we've legitimately seen two characters be shit to each other. I like it then, but because I haven't seen these two actually, you know, done anything, like, trying to get a one-up on each other, it's like, I thought it was a little bit rushed, but then again, this is Casey's, first book, did we say?
Uh-huh.
Like, not that, like, I'm a super critique, but, like, I don't know, these are just thoughts, I guess.
I can't wait for someone to make a podcast about our books and bring all this up.
Hey, we're going anonymous, alright?
This is true.
We're going anonymous.
Not going to stop people doing podcasts, Claire.
No. But yeah, these guys, quite promiscuous with each other in public places. It was really funny when they went to Wimbledon, and they just had a quickie in a closet. And where else did they have quickies? Like the stables.
Yeah.
They're just two horny teenagers. Oh, that's what I was going to say before. Maybe she didn't do explicit kind of sex scenes because, like, Alex is only 21 and Henry's 23, which is still relatively young. But, like, I don't know, maybe didn't want to do it because of that.
I think also, like, we don't know what the editing process was, so maybe...
Perhaps.
She did, and they're just like, the world is not ready.
Speaking of editing, real quick, we have to talk about... There's going to be a reprint of the book because of, Harry Potter references. And I don't know if it's because Casey, or because they might get in trouble, or it could be I
think it's because J.K. Rowling is a TERF and a piece of shit.
Oh, fair enough.
And Casey is a non-binary person.
Okay, yeah,
Identifies as non-binary.
very fair. but
Yeah.
I feel like I only saw like 3 references by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
I thought there was a lot more than that, but like, yeah, I didn't
I'm
think there
going
was
to
a
see
lot.
if I can find the differences.
Oh, I saw one on TikTok before. Some chick did a video. It was the one where it's like, you're Draco obsessed and it's somebody else obsessed. But yeah.
Yeah, you're Draco Malfoy level obsessed.
Yeah, I thought there was going to be
And then,
more.
like, Remus Lupin is gay as hell or something.
Oh, yeah. Because I saw that TikTok before I read the book. And I was like, so am I going to be expecting to see a shit ton of Harry Potter references? But lucky, yeah, it was only like 3 instances. And
Oh, here we go. In one photo, like, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, in the book, Henry sends a photo of his dog, and it's wearing a Slytherin scarf.
oh, yeah.
Draco Malfoy level obsessed. I don't give a damn what Joanne has to say. Remus John Lupin is gay as the day is long. 2 references to Alex having a worn-in copy of Prisoner of Azkaban.
I must have missed that. I did a lot of skimming, I'm not going to lie.
So now,
Oops.
instead of the Slytherin scarf, the dog is now wearing a Starfleet uniform, and the banter is about being able to like both Star Trek and Star Wars.
That's a complete switch. Oh, no, not really a complete switch.
Now calls him Joker level obsessed instead of Draco Malfoy, and insisting that Bram Stoker was gay as the day is long, and that Stoker's Dracula is essentially a work of queer erotica. And now on the plane, Alex is trying and failing to read The Lightning Thief.
It's still like a handful of references that hold almost no weight. Like, I've forgotten about like the Remus Lupin gay one, or even like the Slytherin scarf. Like, that's how very little I paid attention to those sort of details. But to be fair, J.K. Rowling, she should have just got her check and kept her mouth shut, but no.
No, but it's about people being angry because
Yeah.
this is a queer book, and
Yeah,
J.K. Rowling is a piece of shit.
I know, but yeah, my statement just before was in regards to her, just like she shouldn't have run her mouth being transphobic and all that. She should have just made her bread, got her money, Harry Potter money, and just like dipped.
Yeah. There's also a tweet that says, someone whose job involves interacting with reprints, correction for books, I'll tell you this is actually becoming very common, dropping Harry Potter references.
Yeah.
So maybe there's more that we're just not being told about.
Or maybe you don't make those types of references to begin with. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess it's really hard in a modern time. Like, yeah, you want to reference, like, say, like, the high artists of the time, like, you know, Taylor Swift, Beatles, Queen. Like, you have to reference them because they're culturally, you know, important to us, I guess. But that is very interesting to know. Yeah, I thought it was going to be more of, like, an IP thing, intellectual property dispute, but no.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure, I don't know if I saw this on TikTok or Twitter, but I think it was Hank or John Green. I think it was John Green. He was talking about how he would have to write to artists in order to mention song titles and stuff and lyrics in his books. So I thought it was going to be that type of situation.
Oh yeah, sorry.
But then
I
again,
have a massive booger.
it's okay. I was not paying attention to you.
Why
But
not?
yeah, Kenzie, relax. All right, I'll just stare at you right now as I continue to speak. So yeah, I thought it was going to be that sort of issue with having to write to J.K. Rowling and then give her some sort of
like this, stop looking at
royalties.
Yeah.
But no, but yeah, very interesting.
And I wonder how, like, if you have to pay, because I know in TV shows that, it's got a texture sensory thing, sorry. I know in TV shows, like, I listen to a podcast about The Office, and they've used, like, snippets of songs, and it'll be, like, a 7-second snippet, and they're like, and that cost $25,000.
Yeah, it's insane. You have to go through the proper copyright loopholes.
Yeah.
Because otherwise then you're it's the presumption that you're claiming it as your own, as original.
Yeah.
I guess. So does that mean if the movie becomes super fucking extravaganza, the best love story, it's going to become the new Notebook? I don't know. Does that mean this copy that we have with the Harry Potter references, are they going to cost?
It's going to be worth money.
It's going to be worth a bit of dosh. Is this an NFT? Can we NFT this? Is this a Dogecoin? But yeah, it would be very interesting. Alright, question. Would you buy the new copy just for those changes, or probably not?
Probably not, because I know what they are. If I didn't know what they were going to be changed to, I would read them. I would buy it to read it and see what it was, but now that I know what it is, like...
Yeah, fair enough. The appeal is gone. So that's interesting. It's funny how it's taken kind of this long too, Because this book was released in 2019, I believe. So, like, from what I
Maybe
saw,
not probably.
3 years.
First published in the UK 2022.
Oh, 2022.
This year, baby.
Why did I think it was in... No, Red, White, Royal Blue, copyright 2019. In my book. Wait.
First published in the US 2021. First published in the UK 2022.
Why does mine say 2019?
Because you have a different book to me, Claire.
Yeah, but like... That could have been printed in 2020. I'm just gonna Google. And see, this is the thing with different publications. Oh yeah, Red, White, Royal Blue, originally published 14th of May 2019. See, because your book is a little bit different. It was different. It has to be published it has to say the year that it was published, like 2019. Come at me, Kenzie. Come on, keep going.
I'm not debating. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm just saying that mine, the first line, first published in the US 2021. Have you got a displaced book?
But this is her first book, and yet One Last Stop was made in 2021. Like, make that make sense.
When was Red, White, and Royal
I hate
Blue
this.
first released? Yeah, 14th May 2019. And then this says that One Last Stop was 1st of June 2021.
Yeah, we established that.
Or she has another book, 3rd of May 2022.
Alrighty, first edition, New York, St. Martin's Griffin, 2019.
Alright, well, sorry that you have a different book.
See, that's the thing, like, why did there have to be multiple different publishing and everything?
Yeah, why did they reprint it?
Why can't the authors just give every publishing house, like, a description and give them the concept art and all that shit, and they just do everything the same? Why does it have to be different? It's my annoyance with learning to navigate this whole sort of book thing now. Anyway, we digress. It was a nice
Everyone, what does your book say?
Yeah. Dislike if you have Kenzie's book. No.
No, don't.
But yeah.
Like if you have a better blurb. He has beef with Prince. Sorry.
Yeah. Alright, but yeah, ultimately, Henry, Alex, cute relationship, glad it all worked out, loved them. Their sweet and delicate moments were so fucking cute and adorable. Like, it was fantastic. Good shit, good soup. And yeah, 10 out of 10 would probably... I'm not going to reread because I hardly reread, but like, I probably would. I don't know.
Also, for everyone wondering, because I know you all are, I also didn't read the blurb for this before I read it.
I think, yeah, you established early days, like 3 months ago, that that yeah, you don't read blurbs.
I just like to go in blind.
And that is very brave and courageous of you.
Yeah, I did read the blurbs of the books that I bought the other day, but that's just because I sent them to you.
Because you wanted my permission, even though you don't need my permission, you do whatever you want.
Mummy, please.
I don't ask me or set me to do anything because I'll just enable you. I'm like, yes, Kenzie, do it. Just do it. I don't care.
I do that too.
And like, it's hard to discern, like, is this a serious like topic we're talking about? If so, don't do it, but we can talk about it. But like, alrighty, we had another secret relationship throughout this book, which I'm happy that I guessed it, but like, it was kind of obvious, perhaps. Good old Zara and Sean.
Did not guess.
You didn't get it? No. Aw. Why? Who do you think Zara was engaged to?
I kept getting her confused with, there was someone who had
Amy?
a trans wife. Yeah, Amy.
Amy. To be fair, quickly, I thought Amy and Cash kind of came out of nowhere. I still have no idea who they are in relation to his security team, Alex's security team. I have no idea.
Yeah. So I thought Zara and Amy were the same person for a long time. So I thought she was already married. There's just so many people.
I didn't even know Amy was married until the end either. Like, was that the only revelation?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was like mentioned a couple times, so yeah. Or then I thought like Zara and Amy were married.
Yeah. Like, you ship it anyway?
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, Zara and Sean?
I said Sean.
Yeah, I was happy that I guessed it. As soon as she said, long distance, I'm like, oof.
Yeah, but also because that means that they would have started, do you think their relationship like the same time as Alex and Henry, or do you reckon they already knew each other?
I reckon they already knew each other. Because they've been in office for 3-4 years. So, and they would have probably met because they're pretty much.
I guess, like,
they're
public
pretty
relations.
much the kids. Like, yeah, the young kids is like, yeah,
Security.
security babysitters. So like
Yeah.
they would have
I love
probably
how we
met.
refer to them as like the like kids, but it's like they're our age.
Yeah. they're younger than us, Kenzie.
Are
That's how old
they?
we are. Yeah.
Oh my god, I hate this.
I don't know how old June is, but I know Alex is 21 and Henry is 23.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like back to Zara and Sean. I assume they would have met around the Olympic time when they had that.
Yes,
that's
true.
my conspiracy theory.
Look at
And
you.
yeah, look at me go. I don't know. They have the similar work. They're pretty much the same person, just different font. So yeah, that was fun. And like, I just love Zara's character. She is no bullshit. She's like, you will do this, and it's like, I'm not gonna judge you for, you know, being caught sleeping with Henry, but like, you better get the fuck out of here and like, you know, cover your own ass type of thing. Like, she's a real hard ass, and I just loved her attitude. Sean didn't really get much because of the whole him working for Henry, and even though this is a third point of view book, it really is what was from Alex's point of view anyway. So it didn't get much of him. I think Alex thought he was cool and had perhaps a low-key crush on him, perhaps, but I just love the jab where it's like, some of us can keep a relationship a secret. And I thought there was going to be more social media involvement.
Yes.
I thought Alex would probably posted more Instagram photos because I saw he only posted one, and that was his first night in his rectified weekend getaway for PR.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if he just was like anyway, like across the book, and we just didn't know about
You
it.
just assumed he was like posting shit.
Yeah. And again, like, I assume that they had like first son, first daughter of the United States Instagrams, and then they probably had Finsters as well.
Probably. Yeah. But still, the blurb is like, they must, through the power of social media, and it's like, well, we hardly saw any sort of interaction with social media.
Yeah, it was more just like them getting photographed and it being in the paper.
Yeah, and it was only seen once, whereas I thought it would have happened progressively. I thought there was going to be, yeah, like, they hang out a lot, like, articles, like, every week or so came out of them, then it gets more and more progressive, and it's like, spins into the rumour, oh, they've been hanging out too much, are they dating?
Yeah.
But it's like, no, it just kind of, yeah, obviously gets leaked out the way it
Yeah.
did, but yeah, interesting. I feel misled, as I said. Although I must say, shout out, honourable mention to like, because they became the White House trio, and then it just became like, oh, I forget the title now, but it's the six of them: June, Nora, Henry, Pez, Alex, and Beatrice, all, you know, hanging out together, becoming the ultimate international relations six people. I don't know what to say. Get on a roll and then I lose the momentum and I just stumble. Perhaps we can talk about really quick Alex's coming out to his family, to his current parents.
I like that, like, his dad, I think it's implied that his dad already knew.
Yep.
And he was fine with it.
I don't know. Yeah, like, I don't know. I don't like it when people, like, say, oh, I know. As if, like, it was a puzzle or a mystery to be solved. And it's like, I found out or knew about it before you. I don't know if I don't like that. Or any sort of, like, assumptions made or, like, I knew it. Yeah, it was always going to be supportive. No, you're right. And obviously super glad that his mum was extremely supportive as well. And she didn't go full presidential, like, yeah, kind of lockdown on him at all. It's like, it was in that moment she became a mother first. She was like, all right, how you feeling? Now let's try and do some damage control. And I thought that was really sweet. And there's a bit of a huge parallel difference between Alex's mum and Henry's family. Because obviously Henry's family, although his mum had never been the same since his dad died, but like, yeah, she was never really there for him until he had to confront the Queen and all that. But like Alex's mum, tight family from the get-go.
Yeah, I like how she didn't immediately go into like, okay, well, we need to do damage control, like, blah, blah, blah. How was the PowerPoint presentation, though?
It was so funny. This is actually quite a funny book as well. Like,
yes.
She did what she could do best. She did, yeah, used all the resources.
Yeah, I like talking about comedy. I've written down like a couple of like cute like romantic quotes that I really liked, but like the one where like, I don't know, they're all in the group chat and then I think June says something and Henry's just like, bitch, like, you took me there or something.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because it's like, imagine, yeah, like a print, like
being like, bitch, what are you talking about?
Yeah, and then even Alex is like, oh my god, you broke him.
Yeah. Again, another such a millennial book, and I loved it for that reason as well.
Yeah.
It's just our humor. I don't know if I'm technically a millennial. I don't even know what the age
We're not.
range is. Hang on.
I think millennials are like older than us, like 30s.
So what are we then? Are we Gen Z?
No, we're in between millennials and Gen Z.
We're the in-betweeners? Interesting. Okay, I love that. For us, I guess. I don't know. Don't know how I feel about not having a title, but alright. Yes, that very stark differences between the two families and how they interact. And initially, I thought something else was going on with Henry because, other than him probably just trying to hide his sexuality and that stressing him out.
Well, he had his mental health from his father dying.
Yeah, for sure. And I thought he had, like, anxiety and stuff as well. Obviously, he probably would have had extreme anxiety as well. Because, like, I think in one of the first instances where we meet him or something, it's described him taking, like, I think Sean gives him a pill, and I thought, oh, anxiety medication or something.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Zanny.
Yeah, good old Zenny. But yeah, what if, I don't know, it gets good conflict, you know, because, Henry is always gonna choose the royal style. He's gonna sacrifice and do his bit until he met Alex, and Alex made him feel free, and that's when he was like, no, I don't give a shit about protocols, and threatening to abdicate was top tier.
Yes, I was just like, but then I was just like, do it.
Yeah, I also felt dumb. I'm like, how is he gonna get out of this? Oh, abdicating is an option. But yeah, and he was even stressing out to Alex, like, if something happens to Philip, like, he's next in line.
Yeah,
And, like if there was, like, another child, if he was, like, the youngest, like, he probably could have just, like, gone off, done his own thing. Interesting, like, themes and ideals and complications.
Take on, like, options.
Yeah, for sure.
And, like, pathways that people can take.
Yeah. And then he eventually, at the end, he buys an apartment in, like, Brooklyn or somewhere. Yeah. And, like, that's where
because he'll go over to do, like, the LGBTQ plus.
Yeah, that's
shelter.
right. Yeah. And I thought the political campaign really kind of overshadowed the love story a little bit too.
Yeah, there was a lot of campaigning and stuff, and I was just like, give me love, give me love, give me love.
Where's the dialogue? I don't care about this.
Yeah.
And, although I must say, the having Texas turn blue, that whole, like...
Oh, like...
scenes, the whole sequence of events, it was very stressful, but, like, we knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, very stressful. And a lot of, political, like, jargon and banter and all that type of stuff, again, which I don't understand because I'm not that... involved in, like, American politics to that extreme. Which I wonder about Casey's research into all this as well. It'd be very interesting. I would love to see her file before writing this book. I'm trying to get, unless a lot of it was just made up, but just for fun, I low-key shipped B with both June and Nora as well.
Oh yeah, 100%.
had a vibe.
Yeah. Kind of vibe.
As far as I'm aware, that's, you know, I'm pretty content
with
what I said.
I've got an hour and 11 minutes on my recording, so...
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I think we've gone through what we needed to go through. I don't know if there's anything else. Maybe quickly, Alex's relationship with that Raphael Luna thing. Like, I personally thought it was weird to have that sort of kind of... I suppose it's more of a mentor relationship, but, like, again, I don't think in real... I keep bringing it back to real life. I don't think, like, the first family... like son and daughters would have that sort of like camaraderie with like other politicians, I feel like. Yeah. So I feel like it's a bit of a stretch.
Especially as a young person.
Like I don't doubt Alex is like super smart and like obviously he's learning about it in college. And like just the balance of everything, I feel like he would have been so fucking exhausted.
I know, college is full time.
And yet he's being also like a full-time intern for the campaign.
Yeah. Like
Jesus. Yeah, I thought that was weird, but like I kind of had a feeling Luna was going to betray him. Oh, also themes surrounding just like blackmail as well. Like Luna was blackmailed heavily, but of course we don't have to go into that too deeply. If you know, you know. But yeah, it's pretty shit, but unfortunately I think, those things happen a lot in the world, in different sort of industries as well.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I think not much we can really do about it, I guess. They're always going to have people to back them up.
Yeah, and like, I'm glad that Casey spoke about it a little bit, because it's always good to remember to bring light to these subjects.
Yeah, because, obviously, those things kind of happen, or are happening as we speak with, like, people in higher power or high-powered authority figures. Oh, what a depressing way to end it. But again, important themes as well, because on the assumption that this does happen. But glad Luna has made something of himself, and I'm sure he's very happy that he brought down the Richards campaign. And Texas turned blue, which if I remember, did it actually happen in the recent American Olympics? Probably. I don't know. Olympics election. It may as well be an Olympic spectacle, the American presidential campaign. But yeah, I think that's everything we wanted to talk about. To end on a positive note, loved the book, despite everything, all the negative stuff we've said about it. But yeah, I kind of look forward to see what Casey writes next. I really like her style, and I like her dialogue. I like her banter. I like her characters.
I like her writing style. It's very like real life on steroids.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
but
it's also
that's what I love.
It's concise. It's like, all right, we're gonna go to England. All right, you're on the plane to England. This is what's happening. Blah blah blah. Yeah, although I did find Alex quite unlikable in the beginning, but oh well.
But that is, like, I think the sign of good writing.
Yeah.
That you can, like, make the tide turn.
Yeah, I suppose, and not every character has to be perfect. Shouldn't strive to perfection at all.
Yeah.
Well, let us know your thoughts, feelings, and emotions on our socials. Letterbox Book Club TikTok, letterbox_book_club on Instagram, and YouTube, SoundCloud, all that good stuff. Once you find one, I'm sure you'll be able to find us elsewhere. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed it, and tune in next week for
Reminders of Him.
Reminders of Him
by Colleen Hoover. Again, we're back to the Coho bullshit. We love it.
The book that destroyed me.
Oh no.
Anyway, peace and love always.
See you next week. Bye.